Best player in the world to this point in F2 Tekkz.
And here we go, two-legged game as always on the Xbox side of things. It's simple and it's going to be a really testing game between the two. Ajax Danni up against F2 Tekkz, and as you mentioned, the way that I look at this game, Richard, is the difference of the fact that Ajax Danni has had that more experience. He's been involved in the competitive scene just a little bit longer than F2 Tekkz. Don't get me wrong, Tekkz has got that skill and attacking prowess that he's known for, especially this year, to be fair. His all-round game is massively improved, but Danni, I'm sure Bas von Rum's his manager said, we've got a game plan for this one as well. They've had a game plan every game, it seems. Yeah, and it's that possession style of play. You'll see the way that he keeps the ball, he keeps it in areas. Early on, you saw him pass 5 or 6 times in between centre-back and CDM, I think it was Vieira. Early on, just keeping hold of the ball, almost like real life. Everyone getting a touch of the ball, getting used to it, settling down to the occasion. You're playing a console final in a big major tournament. He's used to this though. 2-time Eredivisie champion. This is what thrives him, and he's won that up as well. Ajax Danni.
2-time Eredivisie champion is Ajax Danni. He's used to this sort of occasion. Whoa. And he starts off the best possible way he can. Early bit of possession, and then a lovely finish into that top corner. The goal we've seen all weekend long. Manuel Neuer helpless in the goal.
But the point I want to say, this is what he thrives off, playing in these massive games with pressure on him. He's got, you know, the whole of the Holland or the Dutch FIFA scene behind him right now, supporting him. Of course, his club there as well. See, Team Bundle partnered with these guys to a massive, you could say a hero in the FIFA scene, especially from that Netherlands region. He's one of the 4 players that plays for the national team when it comes to competitive FIFA. You know, nearly 70,000 followers on Instagram. You know, both of these players have got huge social media followings and huge support, I'm sure, watching from home and all around the world. Yeah, massive presence in this game. A lot of eyes, I imagine, on this game. All the F2 family watching this. I've seen Billy Wingrove as being a big supporter of Tekkz, as he would be all throughout. He's been watching, he's been getting behind his man, and they're going to need all that support right now. Is Tekkz, as he's currently trailing 1-0 up against Danni. Well, as we know, in the last game that Tekkz did play, he did go 1-0 down to Marcus Gomes, but pulled that one back, and in the end, he went and won that one 4-2, of course, against the Australian FIFA player. Yeah, again, time for this. Saved. Watching the games in the studio when we've not been commentating, and it seems to be a recurring theme. I think Spencer brought it up earlier that whoever usually scores first in the games goes on to lose the overall series. Whoever wins the first leg tends to go on and win the entire series. Just goes to show how important that first game as well. Speaking of, you know, big first games, that was something that Ajax Danni made part of his plan, you could say, throughout those knockouts. And the game that comes to mind for me is that 5-1 win against Abinio in the quarter-finals on his console. Then moved through, played goal machine as Tekkz does come forward now on the edge of the box. Eusebio intercepted. Just to stress, that stat was only on today's games. That's not throughout the tournament. That was on today's semi-finals. I was going to say, if it was from and console finals, if it was throughout the whole tournament, that would have been insane. But we have to have a little mention on Joksan. You know, obviously it was Joe and Boras that took you through that game. Joksan, everyone said about, you know, one, first and foremost, a player to watch. Definitely, I completely agree on that. 2, someone said about there being a lot of pressure on this man. He's the only one that's won an event this year so far. He won the LQE tournament in Paris, that Continental Cup. He hasn't been phased at all. I just don't get it. Yeah, no pressure on him whatsoever, it seems as though. Joksan, I've seen a lot of support from other pros on the scene as well, just saying how good it actually is, this achievement, that he's not lost a knockout bracket game. We'll get there. This year in FIFA 19. Lovely skill from Tekkz. What a save from Courtois. Out he goes for a corner now. Danni was obviously the original block there from Juanfran on the edge of the box. And then we saw that one there, save from Courtois. There's that finesse, and that's the 6'6" giant of Courtois. They're just leaping up and collecting that one. And still it remains at 1-0 between the two. But we're just giving you kind of a background story on how good these two have been in the competition. And we have to say again, the last 2 that remain from the Xbox side of things, from the Xbox 32 players that did come to this event. You see Tekkz there shaking the head. He does not like this possession style that Danni possesses. It's going to frustrate him, it's going to stress him. He likes to be on the ball, he likes to be in control of the game. Right now, Danni got that early goal, which is the perfect situation for him and any Ajax fan watching. He's just going to keep on moving that ball left to right, If he doesn't need to go forward, he won't.
Just frustrating his opponent, as we know he can do. Head to the box now, R9 Ronaldo back to goal, playing inside for another finesse, and surprise, surprise, that one is saved. Played short to Maldini and a chance to play it from the back from F2 Tekkz. And they always said the best thing, Richard, if one player's playing a possession or someone's playing in a certain way, match them up and give them a bit of their own medicine back.
Yeah, keep possession against them. If you go 1-0 down against a possession play, it's extremely, extremely tough to get back into the game. We've seen it time and time again.
There's that finesse. They're trying to tie up every single time. They're trying to time it. That one was nearly perfect from Eusebio, but blocked and well read by Ajax, Danny.
He's just going to move this ball from left to right once again. Keep hold of it. If there's nothing going forward, he will go backwards, he will go sideways. The ball is almost his baby. He's going to protect it at every means necessary.
This is a huge game as well. Whoever does win this game over the two-legged format that's been obviously played throughout this tournament in Swiss style as well. What a tackle there every time. Jan Fran just there every single time, Richard. On the touch of Pele, I believe, is on that left-hand side.
Yeah, really good touch there as well, just to bring it down.
Look at this from Danny. It's just as you said, muscle memory, so simple. Keep the ball in the right areas. Yes, he's lost it there, just about got it back somehow. Just keeping the ball in the right areas, and that is the difference of, you could say, having a coach and how each player is different.
It's a mistake from Danny, you've seen. Usually when he's conceding goals, it's from him losing the ball in his defensive or middle third. See if Tekkz can make him count. Make this possession count, I should say, that the rare bit of possession he's had in this game. 2 minutes added.
Eusebio, lovely ball down the line. Chance for Tekkz now just before the end of the half, and it goes out of play for him. Danny just about to hold on.
Yeah, Tekkz knows that was a good opportunity to get back into this game. Just before half-time in this first leg. Eusebio comes forward. I think the referee, that's the two allocated.
He's playing on though.
An attack goal.
Ronaldo, he's round the right side of his man as well. Back inside, chance for Tekkz. That's poor from Courtois. A big celebration from the Englishman. Yeah, and it's game on.
You're asking a lot of questions of the Belgium number one in the goal. It's gone straight through him. Not sure if Danny moved the goalkeeper there or not. A toe-poked finish from R9, and Tekkz on the stroke of half-time. Perfect time to score. Completely changes his...
Loves creating that last chance in it, or loves using that last chance, I should say, that he does create to the best of his ability there. But here we go, second half of the first game. These guys are still all squaring it. Basically, it's back to 0-0, you have to say.
Yeah, clean slate at half-time. Let's see how this game does transpire.
Of course, if you have just joined, it is Ajax Danny up against F2 Tekkz.
Good to think if Tekkz scores the next goal, are we going to see a different Danny come out? Or is he going to keep on playing this same sort of slow, build-up, possessive style of play?
Because he only won, I believe, his first game up against, of course, Goal Machine. 2-1. It was one of those games he got himself that extra goal, Richard, that he needed, and ensured that he could just keep possession and relax as such.
Yeah, I think you got the first leg 2-1, second leg 2-2, I believe. Finished 4-3 in the end to Danny. If you're looking through some of his results, he's been winning by 1-2 goals. He's not been really blowing teams away, which is something that it's been a mindset change. In previous years, Danny would come into games, he'd win 8-3, he'd win 9-4, those sort of score lines. Today, 5-4, 5-3, 4-3. They're the score lines to get him into the console final.
Those have kind of been, as you mentioned, sometimes you don't always need the 4 or the 5 or the 6 goals in front of your opponent. Don't get me wrong, if you're very lucky to score that many goals, but it's about just getting that win. No matter how it's done or how many goals it's done by, just simple. Get that W, as Mike LaBelle would probably say. And Tekkz in possession now. So quite a frustrated Tekkz in his first game against Marcus Gomes, which of course was a tough one for him after he just about turned it around and won 2-1 after 60 really frustrating minutes for him when he was 1-0 down and just couldn't get playing. That's where Danny's got to be clever here. If Danny can frustrate Tekkz and win that mental battle, he'll probably win it on the field as well.
Yeah, you'd think so. Tekkz, I know we said it a lot last year, 16 years old, he's now 17. Still very, very young to be in this sort of environment with the points up for grabs, the money up for grabs, and another life-changing amount of money if you go on and win this game, it's $30,000. If you win the grand final, $50,000 in that cross-console final. He often says the money doesn't matter.
He said earlier as well,
Richard,
Richard.
It's all about the recognition of being the best.
He said as well, Rich, just Tekkz he doesn't care about the money. He said, I just want to lift the trophy again. I just want to get that feeling of being a champion, lifting a trophy again. And of course, Danni, representing Ajax, he obviously very proud to do that after winning the Eredivisie twice there. Tell you what, some of these finesses coming in, they're very audacious. I know Mo Aubameyang scored a few crazy ones, but some of these...
Yeah, very speculative indeed from Danni. You saw a shake of the head from Tekkz, like, come
really?
on, you got
really?
to do a little bit better. Got to do a little bit better to score against me like that.
But on that point I was saying about the mindset of both these players, if Tekkz can stop Danni keeping that possession, then he should be okay in this game.
Chance here for Tekkz.
R9, just to drag back, or two. Nice scoop turn as well, back across, outside the boot, what a save, penalty! Tekkz celebrates the penalty as well, he knew he just created that pocket of space. Maldini into the book with a yellow card, and it's safe to say that Danni, you haven't anticipated that one too well.
Yeah, beautiful bit of skill
there
from Tekkz to get into the area, a couple of drag backs, a scoop turn, and then a couple of step overs, and it's CR7.
Ronaldo goes down the middle and he'll score as well. F2 Tekkz, 2-1 up, 66 minutes on the clock. And I think the key difference this year people need to remember is if you make a tackle and the shot is registered, the referee will still go back for a penalty now. Last year it was a thing where if you made a tackle and a shot was registered, you wouldn't always go back.
I don't know if I'm reading into this too much, but Danni keeps on looking at his phone. It looks as though he just looks a little bit distracted to me. It looks a little bit like when we saw him in the previous game against Goal Machine, he seemed very switched on. It seemed as though this was, there's no other thing in the world apart from this game. He's checked his phone twice now in this game. Is it just a little bit?
Whether that's obviously we're not too sure if the coaches can get into those areas where the players are and they're watching outside, whether he's just literally texting them to say, come on.
And I know if I were in a console final, I won't be looking at my phone.
It'll be off, it'll be on airplane mode. No text is coming through at all. Danni 2-1 down. Don't get me wrong, there's still a long time in this game. There's still another leg of FIFA as he comes forward now. Cristiano Ronaldo, pull it on that finesse, and it's going to come off R9 in the end. Yes, it will. It's going to go out for a goal kick, but that's the first time I've seen a penalty celebrated to the length that it did by Tekkz there.
Yeah, good penalty as well to keep your composure. Straight down the middle from the man from the United Kingdom. He was the only player from the UK in this last 8 when we started today. And it could be a UK versus USA final.
And of course, 12 UK players did come to this event, and you're looking at the 16 German players, the #1 nation when it comes to how many players are at that tournament. It's that finesse, and there's the goal. We were saying maybe some were a little bit too audacious, the finesses, but that one, I don't think it even lit up green, and it's just hit the left bottom corner from R9 Ronaldo.
Really good finish from Tekkz. You saw the reaction when it did go in as well. He knows that's a big goal. We'll hull it into R9. He can go on either side. Not the best goalkeeper movement from Danni to get Courtois across, but it's tucked in that corner really nicely. Not a lot of height on it, more of the whipped one. Into that bottom corner, and 3-1. He leads with only 15 minutes left to go on the clock. Perfect start for Tekkz.
And back to the game plan now for Ajax. Danni needs to change something around, or at least keep it
at 3-1.
Yeah, don't go any further, especially in game 1. You know, you mentioned that stat about people that win the first game so far today and how it's gone for them. He needs to ensure that if he gets a goal back, Richard, if he gets 1 goal back, that will set him up amazingly for the second game. 1 goal behind is nothing, or even 2, to be honest, is nothing in competitive FIFA terms, but I'm sure you want to try and take that advantage off as much as possible.
Good bit of possession here from Danni.
Went for finesse there, it was timed.
What's that, maybe a 30-40% chance of going in? It's not a clear-cut opportunity from Danni. It seems as though he's struggling to get into those opportunities. A lot of the goals that he scored today, would you say they've been, you wouldn't expect them to go in?
I'd say a few of them have been that front post finesses that we've seen with Hullet. He's used a few times, but I think the one thing...
There's been some wacky goals he scored.
And his coach said this as well. He said that Danni has mastered that time finesse, but it comes to a stage where you can't overuse it. And right now he's overused it maybe 3 or 4 times from silly areas on the pitch. There's that finesse, and there's the goal. That's an example of using it at the right time, in the right place. There's R9 Ronaldo, and I'd say now that's 4-1.
It's all about utilising your tools that you have at the perfect time, and Tekkz He's not done it every single time, but any time he's took on a finesse with R9, he's found the back of the net. 4-1 he leads right now.
And it probably sounds like I'm, you know, just contradicting myself a little bit there, the way I just said about the finesse. The point I'm trying to make is Danny's done it in a silly area 2 or 3 times in this game, okay? I'm not just picking him out on it. I'm just saying he's tried that time finesse from a silly area, maybe like 2 or 3 occasions now. Tekkz has done it.
From good areas that you are likely to score from.
And yes, don't get me wrong, another day maybe that one doesn't go in, but it did fall to R9. He's done it 2 or 3 times with that R9. Probably the best player to do it with. As we mentioned, keeping it at 3-1. It looks like it could be 4-1 now.
Yeah, big task for Danny. He's not scored a lot of goals in this tournament. The max he's scored is 5 in this knockout bracket. And he needs to score at least 4, at least 3 in the second leg to take it to extra time, 4 to win.
Well, as the added time of 3 minutes, Tekkz, if he scores again, this is going to be a mountain for Danny to climb in this second game. Just hold it like this, Danny. Go and have a break after this game, as the guys will, before we jump into the second leg. Go and have a word with the coach, but what a first leg there from Tekkz. After the early start from Danny, to pull yourself back from 1 goal down to being 4-1 up, Richard. Wow.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Tekkz in that first leg. 4-1 he leads right now, and looking at